back, I'm Gertie Rude, back again, a Monday mood. Here I am, it's Monday, and we're back with Meghan Light and Harry. They're coming back to Britain. They are coming back to blooming Britain. Voodoo people. They're pulling in the big dogs to save their reputation. I thought she was the top dog. I didn't think there was a bigger dog than her, but there we are. So we're going to plunge in and see what's happening. What's happening?
Now for this story.
No more jam.
Charlotte, it just seems that these two can't get anything right, particularly when it comes to staff. Staffing's been one of the things we spoke about the most with Harry and Meghan. I think it's all the way back to when they were still here.
It's happened again, isn't it? It's happened again. I've just seen the tagline. Parted company with their comms team. Oh, where have I heard that before? I seem to be going back in time. Yes, I'm in the TARDIS. I'm going back to last year. And the year before. Oh yeah, and the year before that. And the year before that, and when they were in the royal family. But obviously it's not them. It's not them, you know.
Here in the UK, and there were rumours they were treating staff terribly. What's the latest on this?
What the Marklet?
Well, it is true they've got through a lot of staff. I mean,
she's authentic, classy and orgasmic, something like that, isn't she? She likes making jam. She just likes being barefoot in the kitchen with no drawers on.
One online report that counts 25
like that.
since Megxit. But this time is slightly different, because what they've done is about 2 or 3 months ago, they decided to streamline their staffing operation and turn it into a royal household.
Right.
It's kind of ironic because they've been trying to run away from that royal household.
She's what? Did you hear that right? She's trying to turn that bleeding seedy little joint over in Monty Shit Show into a royal household. I didn't know the royals were royal in Monty Shit Show, California, in America. Is that a thing? Does America have royalty? I mean, let me know in the comments. I didn't think you did. I mean, have you got royals? Got boils? Don't know about royals. Well, not being funny, America's got enough problems. We don't want to hear about her and her bleeding old comms team and this, that and the other. Either, so let's have it right. Let's put this all out on the table. So what we're dealing with is people that are either really terrible at interviewing their staff and are forever, for whatever reason, employing completely the wrong people. Or it's them. But in both cases, it would be them. Because it's obviously not the people, is it? Because, I mean, you're employing them, you're paying them money. So you've either picked the wrong people, or you're a shower of shite to work for, darling. I mean, either. It's your fault. Literally, I don't care. And I shouldn't imagine there's many people listening that care.
Household structure, but then they realised it actually worked for them. Because when Harry was part of a royal household structure, he had great PR. It was tightly managed, it was very rigid, it was very hierarchical. And that's what he's recreated.
Well, no, because before she came along, Harry's comms team, I hate the snooty, snobby way they come out with this load of old nonsense. The PR machine. He shared it with William. And then when Kate came along, he shared it with William and Kate. And then when the Meghan Light came along, yeah, that was totally different left field. Let's not go there. Let's not talk about it. Let's just move swiftly on and pretend we haven't noticed. Because the Marklet she is literally Mother Teresa. She's been, you know what I mean, imbued, or whatever the word is, when people die. She's been taken over, yes. She is the spirit of a veritable, what would you call her? I don't know, pain in the butt really. But anyway, she's trying to be like one of those humanitarian, that's the word I'm looking for, daft old bat. She's trying to be humanitarian. Somewhere between, say, Mother Teresa, for philanthropic adventures, and probably with the style and philanthropic compassion of Diana. Yeah, with a little side helping of Maria Von Trapp, because you've got to throw in the kiddies. She's very good. She's the only woman, literally, in the world that's ever given birth to children. And also the only mother in the world. So well, she's definitely a mother. Definitely a mother.
So he's got this girl called Meredith, who's this sort of overlord and extremely powerful woman right at the top, and everyone reports up to her.
Right.
And under her watch, 2 people have indeed been let go. One's called Charlie Gibson and one's called Kyle Boulier. And you asked a really interesting question in your build-up there.
So she's employed an old pitbull, wouldn't she, really, this Meredith? Because if she's the most powerful woman, I think we're looking at the most powerful woman in this bleeding creation. aren't we? This show. Because I can't see anybody being more powerful. I think she's just the mouthpiece for this thing here. I think so. But anyway, dear old Meredith, she's letting people go probably because she don't want the buck to stop at her. Be her next. Be her. You mark my words.
As you said, I wonder how this information's getting out there.
Yeah.
Well, the fact these two people have been let go, there is a little bit of a witch hunt going on behind the scenes in Team Sussex because some people...
Harry's been on the edibles, you can see. Look, he's going do-dally, isn't he? Have you seen him? He's making circles with his fingers. Probably thinks it's a preschool. Someone give him some crayons, something to chew on. Do you get me?
People think, and I have no idea if it's true or not.
Hands out of pockets, man, and you.
Maybe Kyle is the one leaking the story out.
Right.
But it isn't as many...
Oh, Kyle's leaking stories. Well, like we need stories leaked, to be fair. We don't really, do we? Once you know they've let go. I think it was for like... We had a round figure, didn't we, last year? Was it 15 in one bash? I think it might have been, darlings. Yes.
As many staff have been let go as you think, because actually, really interestingly,
there ain't enough
a new person has been shipped in.
There ain't enough money in the world that I would ever work for these pair of plums. And I'm sure you all feel the same. Because I wouldn't be employed. I wouldn't even get to be employed before I was definitely unemployed by them. Do you get me? Because I would tell her. I would tell her left, right, bleeding centre, this old broad. Right, let's go. Come on.
So the number before was 10.
No, we're doing that one.
And they still got 10.
What are we doing?
Because they did get rid of a couple.
What's going on?
But now they brought in...
What's going on here? What's all this happening here? What's going on? We know about this. We've done this. It's her. Sits in the middle. She's got the white background. She's all white in the middle. So white. I'm whitey, white. Because it denotes sort of subconsciously in marketing, sort of circa 1980. You wear white. It's sort of saintly. It's truthful. It's compassion. It's innocence. BS. Go on. I'm bored of that one.
A girl called Emily Robinson, who is the Netflix director of comms. So in other words, they're pulling in the big guns. They're getting Netflix's comms person.
They're pulling in big guns. Look at her looking at him. Come on, Barry! She's like looking at him like you'd look at your chihuahua to see if he's still there, wouldn't you? Come on, follow me.
To try and mastermind their comms, alongside another really brilliant guy called Liam.
Don't keep saying comms.
Really close to Harry.
Constipation.
And what they're doing is trying to help their image because they've got stuff.
There we go. Look,
right?
look at this. Oh, we've done it. We'll go back in a minute.
They can't have another 5 years of having a terrible reputation, so they're pulling in the big dog.
They can, darling. They can. They can probably have another 10, 20, 50 years of bad PR. She obviously all on her own. If there was ever, say somebody in the world did want the template of how to have the worst PR and marketing, like literally ever, in the known world, and obviously de facto the solar system, she would make a killing. That would be her vibe. That would be her thing. They'd be queuing out the door because she knows how to do that. That's the only thing she does know how to do. She can't make jam, let's have that right. Sprinkling bleeding old flowers that are all dead and crumbling and whatever she does with them, not right. But I reckon she should do that. She's missed the bleeding trick. I'm going to email her. I'm going to say, listen up, that's what you want to do. You want to market yourself, Markle. Marketing Markle. As a marketing firm, which if you do, say you want to fold your company, or you've only bought it to fold it, and you want to just create the worst shitstorm ever, so all the shareholders pull out, or whatever they do. I don't know what they do. I mean, don't ask me. Don't talk about pulling out in front of Harry. That's something he regrets. So anyway, yeah, well, she would be the girl. Now, I reckon she would be par excellence of that. I really do. I think she would be the top dog of that. She would literally be the, Versace, or the Coco Chanel of bad marketing. She'd be the one. I think we should all do a petition. Come on!
That makes a lot more sense now, Charlotte. I mean, when you hear them saying things like they want to go back to having a royal household, is this maybe a sign that they're trying to...
I thought he was going to be just Harry. Oh, just Harry now. I'm going to... Horrid Henry. Do you remember the kids' show? My little grandson used to watch that. Not a lot, but obviously we're going back 10 years. So, yeah. Now he wants to be a boil. Oh, he's missing all the bleeding tugging of the forelock and bowing and scraping, isn't he, really? He's missing it all. He's fed up of having his hair pulled out and all the china broken. So he probably gets it off Temu nowadays. Doesn't he, ladies? What do you reckon? The china I'm talking about, not the missus. He probably blows his latest girlfriend up, doesn't he? Eh? Probably gets her from Ann Summers or wherever you get something like that from. Put some air in it. He's probably not in the same town as her. To be fair, he's probably not.
Make a comeback to Britain, perhaps?
I think so. I think it really, really matters to Harry that he's got this terrible reputation back at home.
I think what will happen is they'll establish a home over here, and at some point that none of us will be able to discern, apart from the people that are concentrating, at some point in the next 8 to 10 years, we'll all notice that she's not with him anymore and he's over here on his own. But obviously that is... Do you think she'd be in front of... she's a media hoe, isn't she? I don't want to say whore because that's rude. And I don't mean in that sense, but you know what I mean? Well, I do actually. To be fair, I do. And yeah, and of course she's stepping out with... what's his name? Anderson. He goes everywhere with her. He does. Come on, we all know. Right, let's go.
He doesn't want people at home to hate him, especially because in 2027 he's going to be coming over to Birmingham for the Invictus Games. So the last thing he wants is the entire royal family shunning that event, because he really cares about the Invictus Games.
Since when? You tell me since when. Because if he did, he wouldn't have had her walking around in her drawers in front of all those blokes that are differently abled, with all her legs showing in October down in Dusseldorf. So don't tell me, he really cares. He told her to bleed and sit back down. And shush. The shush up. Do you get me? Who invited you? Who voted you in as leader of the Bleeding Invictus Game, you old malt? That's what I just said to her. Go on.
And it is actually, to his credit, a brilliant thing to do.
God, people.
And, nobody wants to be hated back home. And what he's realised is actually,
no one hates him.
I sort of railed against it at the time, but it worked for me. They protected me.
Right.
Why not give it a go? And one of the sources in his camp told me a few weeks ago, listen, even...
Off to court again. He's always in court. If he's not in court, it's not the day for Barry. So I think he was going in the Old Bailey. Or was it the Courts of Justice, which I think is the Old Bailey? I don't care. So it's something like that's happening, and they're coming back to Blighty. Probably means we've got to put our hands in our pockets and pay for this whole thing again. Or either that, or Charles will have to pay for it out the civil list. Or whatever it's called. They've called it a fancy new name. Because they didn't like people realising they were rinsing the taxpayer with their civil list that was about as civil as a kick in the head. So they called it something else. I think they called it the Royal Family Stipends sort of Compensation Club. Or Universal Credit for Royals. Something like, it's just, I've always said they're the biggest benefit claimants. Because if you ask most unemployed people to go and shake hands and cut a few ribbons, I'm sure they'd do that. But you can look down on them, but not this lot, who rinse us for a lot more than the average unemployed family. So, and I'm not talking about Kate and William, because they're worth every penny. They're worth every penny. They are. Just looking at her. I see someone who did a video the other day. Somebody did a video, was it a short, of all the best, what is it, like videos or snippets of media of William looking at Catherine, and she was in that gold dress and in every frock and the way they looked together. I loved it. I played it a couple of times. I'm a bit sad.
Harry realises there's nowhere to go but up, so he may as well
only way is up.
Give the old thing a try again.
Right, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, they've had a lot of gigs cancelled this year. I mean, she just did recently...
There's a lot of gigs cancelled. She was going to play Nebworth. They had her booked for Wembley. They bought her a microphone off of Temu. Or was it Shein? I think it was Shein. I don't think they could stretch to Temu. They got her a bit of a plinth. Do you get me? So she can stand on it. And some lights, camera, action. Probably you can fit, I don't know, probably about 10,000, 15,000 people in the arena. And then we can all genuflect and prostrate ourselves. Or prostate ourselves, darling. As though we were giving ourselves, one and all, over to the Holy One. I'm there for it. I think we should, I'd be taking a piss. But anyway, I think that's going to happen. She is going to be the next oracle Really?
Did an interview, I think, with I can't remember the woman's name.
Nobody can remember her name. It's Megan.
It was deemed as one of the most insufferable interviews on the internet.
Oh, Jamie Lee Kearney Lee with fumbly making up that dating. Well, she called it dating. Euphemistically, it wasn't. It was a bonking. It was a bonking app.
What's it going to take for them to get a break? Because clearly, whatever's going on the social media, whatever strategy they've got.
See, with the hand in there, people always say, "Why did the Royals put the hand in there?" That denotes that he has been thingy-bobbed as a Mason, darling. Because at a certain age, they become Masons, and that's the thing they do. One hand, the hidden hand. Yes. I know people are going to say, "Oh, you're being conspiratorial." It is a fact. Look into it. It is. So whenever they start coming out, they don't always do it, but usually they do it around about the time that they've been... What would you call it when you join up and they all second you and put you forward and all that? I don't know. Because is it the Duke of Gloucester, who's the top Mason? I mean, they've never seen a bit of brickwork in their life, let alone a hammer or cement. But... it's that type of vibe. So when they put the hand in the jacket like that, so especially when you go back in history, all the top people used to be oil painted with the hand, the hidden hand, halfway inside their jacket like that. William did it a few times because they're all. It's something. It's like being circumcised or confirmed or having the first Holy Communion. As far as the elite are concerned, it's not an if or maybe. It's a definite. At some point, he would have been, indoctrinated into that little cult of Masonic, whatever it is. So it's a hand in there. He's a Mason. We all know that. He's got Marklet. He thinks he's bagged himself a stunner. Oh, look at me, I'm a stunner. And listen, this is the photograph where the shoe she's wearing, she pinched off a set off of sluts. She did. That came out later. And they were a bit, do you know what I mean? Not what you'd put on, if you get me, capiche. Not being rude. Well, I'm being rude. No, I'm not, being honest.
Their interviews, their gigs that they've lined up from Netflix onwards.
Oh, look at me. I was really good for 44, marrying a 37-year-old, but I'm quite good, really, and I got my turkey teeth. Oh, we're going to go to bed early with a box of popcorn, and we're going to watch Shrek. Go on.
They have to go through quite a radical PR shift, are they not?
I don't know.
Yeah, and you know what? That's exactly what's going on. When that twerking video came out, which blew my mind and everyone's mind, that was part of their new strategy because they're trying really hard to remind people that
milk lasts longer than their staff. Well, in the heat we've had in Sussex, it doesn't last very long at all. You have to keep it. Obviously, you have to keep it in the fridge all the time when you do in winter. But even in the fridge, when it's 34 degrees outside the fridge, it doesn't last awfully long. It doesn't. And I would say it probably does last a tad longer than their staff. There you go.
That they're authentic.
Hi!
They're just like us, and they kind of do kooky videos in the birthing suite. My personal take on this is that interviews like the one you mentioned, that podcast one, I found that really inauthentic because I thought that these LA podcasters are so, saccharine. And
I think vacuous is the word you're looking for. They're just annoying. They just really are insular, self-obsessed, and vacuous, asinine.
Authentic themselves. And then that generates more kind of faux Californian speak.
Yeah, it's just nonsense.
It just kind of perpetuates.
It's just nonsense when you think what's going on in America at the moment. They've had those god-awful floods in Guadalupe River burst its banks and flooded out the whole area in like a matter of minutes. But no, do you know what I mean? Marklet, comms team, me, going there, doing this, holding that. Oh, look at me. Here, but I'll tell you another thing, and this occurred to me, and we're going to be on the same page, because I've always said it, and I don't want to toot the horn, but I always say it first, because obviously I'm an old bat, and I know these things. Right, listen, when you don't see that whole thing, for 5 working days, it's because she's been in the clinic. She's had a bit of a pimp. Couple of injections, do you get me? Capiche? Probably in the butt as well. In fact, that's the only way she should have them, really. The old horse, couple of ketamine. There you go, love. Fit to go. Go and trot round the field. give her a nose bag. Anyway, I always think that if you don't see her for 5 to sort of maximum of 10 working days, she's having work done. She's being renovated. Yes. She's having it all uplifted.
This mess. And over here,
yes,
it just doesn't go down well. We're British. We can see right through.
She's having her basement bashed in. Yes, and she's going to build a sauna in it, allegedly. I mean, don't quote me on it.
Nonsense like that. We hate it.
Right.
But I suppose, and I don't know this,
Hello,
happened to LA lately, but I suppose over in LA,
Thank
it goes
you.
down well.
Oh, she's touching me. Oh, no.
Californians sucking up to one another on a podcast for an hour and a half.
Now, don't say sucking, because sucking's a word that we're not allowed to use at the moment. Okay? No sucking. Do not allude to the word. Do not say the word. You can say masticating. The masticate's more chewing. Does he look masticated? I think he might do, I'll be honest. In fact, I think that's the proper adjective. Yes, he's being masticated on a daily basis.
But what Harry needs to do, and what I think he actually is doing by hiring this guy,
Hello,
because Liam is Brit, has been with Harry for years and years, worked on Invictus,
wonderful.
And went to Sandhurst Military Academy.
Right.
He kind of gets that. He's kind of one of the lads.
Right.
So he gets that cannot
he's got,
work for
what's
Harry.
he got that?
You know,
What's he wearing now with all that old crap in the court thing for? Wasn't he just coming out of the court and he's got his St. Cross George thing, Malta thing on? Knights of Malta, or is it Knights of George? I don't know, I don't care. And he's got a string of what's this he's got on from the Meggles? Well, he's probably got off your eBay. Hey? Because if you go through them, they're all ones that are just for turning up and doing something. The Queen gave a load out just for being alive during her jubilee to the family. They all got a Meggle. But they look impressive, but then when you ask what they are, they're literally for not really anything. So why would you wear all that to court? Is it sort of saying, look at me, I'm Sandra D, lousy because I got Meghan Lee? Something like that. And over there is Meghan's favourite shop. Over there, top right-hand corner. They've cut out the 5 because they didn't want to be rude. So they just left guys. Do you get me? But she loves it. Soon as because she see the sign, 5 guys, she was in there. She was like a ferret up a shithouse drain. You couldn't stop her. As soon as she thought, oh, there you go, there's 5 guys, all for me. She was gone.
Harry being a sort of Californian,
she had her mouth full of her buns.
Kind of advocate. We know him. We know that's not what he's like. He goes to Vegas and gets naked. He's fine. He drinks wine.
You don't now.
And that's when the nation loved him.
I think that was the last time he got naked. Well, it was time in Vegas. Which was about, I don't know how old he was. He was only young. I mean, he was between about 18 and 22, I think. Because wasn't it in a sabbatical from the army? It's what all the young bucks do, darling. They get naked and play poker really badly so they can take all their clothes off, basically. I always do that. Do you know the strip poker? Yes, I do. I try really hard not to win. There you go.
The day was when he was being himself, being authentic.
Quite right, Charlotte. I'd like to bring in the rest of my panel because they'd love to ask you some questions.
Right, come on, Charlotte.
This. Adam, would you like to ask Charlotte something about Harry and Meghan?
I would.
Yeah, look, you say about being authentic. I think it's too late now for the British public to look at Meghan as being authentic. And we all used to love Harry for his cheekiness and his rebellious activities. But now, you know, he's just like a weak man that says how high when Meghan says jump. You know, I don't think we're ever going to reverse that.
No.
Do you agree, Charlotte?
Totally.
I think it can be reversed. I'm ever the optimist. But
but I think, you know, you saw the face to camera of what they call his comms team, what I call a PR machine, and they polished a turd. Let's be politely, they polished a turd. And but when you get down to the nitty gritty, orgasmic and authentic of what he was really like when there was no cameras around, he wasn't the most pleasant chap, darlings. He was definitely not the most pleasant chap. If he'd have ever come across me, yes, he would have been severely reprimanded, darlings. Yes.
When you said that thing
Got
about
away
Queen,
with that with me, young man. Thank you.
The Queen said, the Queen said Harry is neither strong. Anyway, she basically said Harry was weak.
Right,
there was some amazingly queenish quote, I've now forgotten it, but anyway, basically, he is weak and Meghan is strong. Oh, and she also said he's not very bright and Meghan's very intelligent.
But I don't think... you know, how do you equate intelligence? It's... Yeah, I wouldn't say she was intelligent. People keep blowing smoke up her arse saying, oh, she's very intelligent. Well, this is evidentially not true, isn't it? Because if it depends how you sort of disseminate or characterise intelligence, because if she was intelligent, we wouldn't be having this conversation, would we? If she was, do you get me? Like, I would say that Catherine, for instance, is intelligent. She's got that innate sensibility and intelligence, and a sort of, well, it probably comes from being British as well, in fairness to the Marklet. But when people keep saying, oh, well, she's very intelligent, where is she intelligent? I would like somebody to just, like, give me, like, one example of her being intelligent, because I've never seen it myself. Egotistical, self-obsessed, a raging narcissist and self-promoter, and not a very nice person. But that, if she was intelligent, we wouldn't know that about her. We would have never seen any of that part of her. She would know the coup, if you get me. Yeah? Which, whether she knows it and chooses to ignore it, or she literally doesn't know it and doesn't care to know it, that's only her that will know that. But unlike me, who's just waffling. But yeah, I don't think she's intelligent at all. It's like, for instance, if any of you got married to some, say, flip it, an American person that was a major celebrity in America, and you're a fish out of water because you were British, and you've gone over there, would you behave like her? Would you mind your P's and Q's and stand, where you're told to stand and behave yourself? That is, I would say, the more intelligent thing that one would do when visiting oneself on a foreign culture of which you aren't really acquainted, but you're hoping to be acquainted, and you're hoping for them to see you as authentic and classy, because you keep telling them you are. Anybody that has to keep telling people they're intelligent, authentic, classy, and all this, that, and the other, and I'm a mum, right? Literally, it's because they're none of those things. There you go.
That's my opinion. The problem is that, it does feel to us in the UK, like he's been walked all over. Yeah. And he's not, his real personality hasn't been allowed to shine through in recent years. Or maybe he has just authentically changed.
I think they're done. Yeah, and I've thought they've been done for a long time. I think this coming to Britain could be a Swiftie, where you don't see the seam. You get me? It'll be, they won't get away with it, but this is their game plan, okay? They thought, what we do is, like, we set up home in England and make out we're still married, and then seamlessly, I'll be spending much more time in California than he'd be spending a lot of time in Windsor. That is going to be the thing, and we're supposed never to notice. So there is that to it, and I'm really bored, and I no doubt you are too. But I hope they don't come back, because I don't see why we should have to pay for him. Because, I mean, if you go back a couple of 100 years, he'd have been gone for trees and windy darlings. He would have been, let's have it right, he would have been. Or he'd have been put in a tower somewhere. Yes, and fed Momsey. I'm not sure what Momsey is, but apparently it doesn't do well if you're elite or a royal, dare I say. Stay away from the Momsey. Bye-bye now.